Frank. We're our co-host Paul Hollis, author of the Hollow Man series, owner of Hollow Man Publishing, and Frank Fiore, host of Fridays with Frank. Frank, how are you? I know you're excited about our guest, and you know what? I just keep getting filmmakers for you. I told you I can get filmmaker after filmmaker, and that's how we learn. We learn from people, and he's in the film festival right now. So I'm excited to welcome the program Carter Ward to the show, and he's going to talk about Step Back, Doors Closing. Carter, how did it all start for you? Kind of tell me how it started.
Well, to be honest, I started writing this script a very long time ago, back in like, I don't know, 2012 or something. But it's a project I set aside and then kept coming back to because the story just seemed like, it could really work. And I wanted to write a story that was simple enough for my directorial debut that I wouldn't be overwhelmed. There's no martial arts sequences or anything. It's just focused on two people meeting each other on the DC Metro on a Saturday night and spending a Saturday night and the next day walking, talking, and falling in love.
Huh,
How
we
much?
need go
How
Frank.
much is the people in the film you? Because y'all did you pull from your own experience or your own feelings or what have you?
I did, and I'll say something funny, which is the way all the characters talk is exactly the way I talk. For the first time as a writer, I just pretended every character was me in the first draft. So it was essentially 90 something pages of me flirting with myself. And then over subsequent drafts, I found ways to make the characters, more individual and not just strictly myself.
All right, Paul, go with the question.
Um, Hi, Carter. I don't really have a question just yet, so I'm
Oh,
I'm very interested in your movie, though.
okay. All right. So, Paul, we'll just get you back and see if we don't. So, Carter, when I think about this now, a love story, and you've written it a long time ago, have you had your heart broken from that love story without giving anything away?
Uh, there are portions from my personal romantic experience that are sprinkled throughout, but I've never had this night in question. No. So, the girl in the script is not based on any.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's a good pickup line if you're not in a relationship. Look, I wrote this love story, and look how much of a romantic I am, and that's a good
Yeah,
way to meet women, right?
I'm so sensitive, and
Yeah,
in touch with my feelings. Yeah.
yeah, in touch with your feelings. And hey, you're
Yeah.
any director. Come on now, writer. You're a filmmaker, and that's got to feel good. But go ahead, Frank, with your next question. But I want to jump in more of the behind the scenes and to things because I think this is a big thing that Frank is in this part of life, and ultimately, all of us want to be filmmakers. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, this is the teaser. Did you fund a film feature yet, or where are you in
Yeah,
the
no,
process?
no, it is fully finished. So we had our world premiere at Dances with Films in Los Angeles in June, and now we're making our second festival appearance at the Catalina Film Festival, which is where I am right now. I'm sitting in my hotel room.
So, how is it doing the film festival route? How do you get accepted, first of all? What do they look for to be accepted to a film festival? And then, what's the process that you have to go through once you get into a film festival?
God, I wish I knew what half these festivals were looking for. It's hard getting into these things. Um, so I'll back up and say there's a website that pretty much has a monopoly on festival submissions called Film Freeway. And every festival lists their requirements. And when you choose which festivals you want to submit to, it's honestly now as easy as buying something on Amazon. You just like select the different festivals. They may have some follow-up questions, but uh what was I gonna say? I apologize.
No, that's
Uh,
okay. We'll just keep going back, Carter. Yeah, basically, what you're saying is you apply, the ones choose you, and then you go.
yeah, and some of them take a long time to get back to you, upwards of like 6 months. Others are a shorter time frame, but it's incredibly competitive these days, and partly because of that website. They've made it so easy to submit to festivals that now every festival gets thousands and thousands of submissions. So it pros and cons.
Let
So
me,
how many film,
let me ask
so
you,
go ahead, Frank.
yeah, let me ask you, Carter. Okay, so you finished the feature. Two questions. How did you get the funding? What kind of funding did you get? How did you investors or some production studio or something? And two, uh, what's the value of the festivals? Is that attempting to get distribution? Is that why you're going to the festivals?
Sure. I'll answer that question first, which is, I mean, it's all about promotion and yes, distribution. So outside, after our premiere, we did get 2 offers for distribution, and I'm being patient because I just want to, they're not bad offers by any means, but I just want to see what else is out there and make sure I'm making the smartest decision I can. But in terms of how the film got off the ground, to be perfectly honest, the number one investor is my aunt. She's extremely well off and extremely supportive. And her biggest value starting off was, she didn't know a damn thing about the film industry. I mean, she does now, but she had experience getting startup companies off the ground. And every independent film production is essentially a startup company. You have to do a business plan. You have to start a business entity, open bank accounts, get a lawyer, get an accountant. And she helped me navigate those waters. So when it was time to, pitch it to other outside investors, it was a much more legitimate enterprise.
Impressive. Yeah. But isn't that amazing? At least you found somebody for raising money. Did you raise
Yeah.
any more money or was it mostly your aunt? For
I mean, it was mostly her, but yeah, there were outside people as well that I am not related to.
at least,
What did the film cost to
Uh,
produce?
Honestly, a lot of filmmakers are comfortable answering that question. I don't really want to, but I'll also say a lot of filmmakers lie. I wouldn't, when people answer that question, I wouldn't necessarily trust them because, sometimes it makes sense to exaggerate, sometimes it makes sense to say it's less. So, to be perfectly honest, in your future, it may not be a super helpful question to ask people. So.
okay. Paul, mind of questions now for Carter?
I don't. This is just a fascinating subject. I love listening to Carter. So, just yeah, tell us all you can about the movie industry. It's great.
Yeah, I'm loving learning this stuff. And Carter, after this is over, are you going to be doing more films?
I mean, that's certainly the goal. I would love to make more movies. I know exactly what I want my next one to be, but I still have to write it. So it might be a little while. I've had a lot of very smart, successful people tell me, once the film is being released into the world and people can see it at festivals, you should really have your next project lined up, ready to go. And I'm like, guys, I hear you, but it's not happening. It's just been such a long 24/7 journey where I'm 100% dedicated to this film that I would love if the next one were ready to go, but it's honestly not. But it will be eventually.
All
Did
Knock
right.
on
you
the
did you base your you wrote the book, right? The movie's based
well,
on the book?
no, I've never written a book, but I
Oh,
wrote
okay.
the
All right.
screenplay. Yeah.
Did you find out that we're told that if you have a book and you adapted it, to a screenplay, that the people, the distributors, investors, and whatever, you'll be more interested in it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's certainly possible. Everybody wants to focus on different IP, different properties. Um, but then you also have filmmakers, uh, Tarantino loves to talk about his process, and he essentially writes a novel and then turns it into a screenplay every time, from my understanding. Only we don't see those novels. Although I think for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he
Wow.
has released it. But yeah, I don't know. Novels aren't really my thing. It's like it's a very different medium, and I'm a little intimidated by that, to be perfectly honest.
All right.
How did you,
Let's
how did you find your actors?
So we hired a casting director for
Okay.
like the top 5 or 6 roles, something
All right.
like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what we.
That's it. Okay, okay. Yeah, no, our casting director's name is Matthew Glasner. I'm incredibly happy to give him a shout out because he was great. But then I also two of my friends are in the film that are both full-time working actors in LA. And then after that, for some of the day players, the people that are working for just one day on set and maybe only have like one or two lines of dialogue, we did the casting ourselves just by doing postings online, such as there's a website called oh, what's it called? Backpage? Is that what it's called?
No
I'm
worries.
blanking. Yeah, I'm blanking, but it was we found the whole cast via several different ways.
So speaking to being, you're going to go to Catalina, and what's going to happen? What do you
Well,
think?
I'm at Catalina right now.
Yeah.
So
So meaning like what to mean when during the festival, what's your whole biggest goals to accomplish?
well, to be perfectly honest, there was one guy who's going to be here that started a distribution company I've been trying to get in touch with. And that was my main goal up until last night when I finally got a response. And they said, it's a very sweet, charming film, but it's a little too small for what we're looking for right now. It's like, ugh.
But you never know who you still can meet to this weekend.
No, exactly. That's the beauty of film festivals. Great marketing. I mean, I meant to say networking, several different panels, and then just going to different screenings. So I went to a couple screenings yesterday and met some filmmakers, and it's fun. It's nice talking to different filmmakers because the average person doesn't know the hell that we go through trying to make a movie. So it's easier sometimes to relate to other filmmakers.
It's good to educate people on this because it's another passion, just like authors who have on this show that have written books, and it's a challenge. It's not easy,
No,
and
not.
because it's a labor of love that you throw out there and see what happens. And you've made this. Other festivals you're going to be going to after this? Do you have any others?
To be determined. We're still waiting to hear back from maybe a dozen or so, and hopefully we'll get into some more, but I don't know. We'll just
So
have to
why
wait.
should people see the movie? Give us your reason.
To be perfectly honest, it's just kind of a breath of fresh air. You know, the world is so damn complicated, and I feel like a lot of films these days are just so fast paced, so jam packed, and don't let the characters have a chance to breathe. And it's just a nice break from reality. It's a very cute, sweet film.
All right. We appreciate it, sir. Thanks again.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a
All
great
right.
one.
Best place people can find information on the film. Where can they go?
Um, Go to stepbackdoorsclosing.com, and when it is available for everyone to see, the information will be on that website.
All right. You're going to find distribution. I believe it, sir. Thanks again.